Hey folks, we're back, and of course, now I'm going to review and talk about the fourth installment in Mission Impossible franchise. And I just previously did reviewed Mission Impossible 3 earlier hours I did. I just finished now the fourth one, which I have to talk about because I really enjoy this film. I like this movie a lot. It's an entertaining, really good sequel. And once again, my name is Ivo, and now I'm gonna review and talk about Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Came out December 11, 2011 in Austin. It actually was Bat Number Tone, and it came out in premiere on December 2011. And it actually took the 6 years till they actually did the fourth installment. And when Tom Cruise back in 2006, he completed Mission Impossible, the third movie. Everyone believed that the third movie ended the trilogy. That Tom Cruise just wanted left with the trilogy. But I'm glad he made the fourth movie. So this was the fourth movie in the franchise, but it took them 5 years till they actually did release the fourth movie, and I say spectacular, awesome. I don't agree with the best action movie of the year. I don't agree with that, but it's a really good sequel. Tom Cruise returns as IMF agent Ethan Hunt. And the J.J. Abrams has been asked to return as the director, but he declined to direct this film, but he stayed as a producer with Tom Cruise and Brian Burke. They all served as producers. Paula Wagner couldn't stay because I talked and I said in my previous review that the owner of the production did not renew the contract, so she couldn't serve as a producer. But Tom Cruise convinced J.J. Abrams to stay as a producer in this film, so that's happened. So Tom Cruise, J.J. Abrams, and Brian Burke, they all stayed. And served as a producer of this film. Written was by Josh Applebaum and Andre Nemetz, who wrote the screenplay. And in the lead role, Tom Cruise returns. Now, as for this film, after we saw in the third movie that Tom Cruise, actually Ethan Hunt, got married to his his girlfriend, just gonna say his fiance. He went and he married his fiance in the previous installment, and he and she went into they actually walked into a sunset, happy. This movie is completely the opposite of the third one, and it's actually very dark. And this is actually my fourth, I would say this will be my fourth favorite movie in the franchise, because the next sequel that I'm gonna review, and that's Rogue Nation's my favorite Mission Impossible film. My second favorite is the third one that I just reviewed earlier ago, and the third one is actually the first Mission Impossible that I love to death. But this movie I really like. I really enjoy watching this film once again. Except the second one, which I think the second one is a piece of shit movie. It's abomination of all time. Just skip the sequel and watch the next installment, because every installment that Tom Cruise did are great. And Tom Cruise once again proves why he's the king of the actors. Why he's not only a great actor, but he did all his own stunts. And he's a king of stuntmen. He's a king. He did all his stunts. And he proves why he's the best of the best. And yeah, I called Tom Cruise best of the best because he is. I'll explain in this review why. And yeah, so the story continue, which is dark from the third one. Ethan Hunt is now in Russian prison. I don't know why he's in Russian prison, but he is there. So they lost. So IMF agents I think they lost a briefcase. I think there is some sort of important. I think there is some sort of important launch codes in it. And one of the IMF agents gets killed, played by Josh Holloway from The Lost. Yeah, it was Josh Holloway who played IMF agent Henway, and he get killed by a freelancer contract assassin killer Sabine Morau. So now IMF agency needs Ethan Hunt back. So they choose two of his members and his new members. And Benji from the third installment returns. Simon Pegg, who was previously a technician in the Mission Impossible 3 in the third movie, returns as Benji Dunn. And of course, Agent Jane Carter, played by Paula Patton. They were selected to become Ethan Hunt's team members. So in order to get Ethan Hunt, Benji, as a technician and a hacker, goes in a prison, and he opens on the door, and he helps to escape Ethan out of the prison, while Ethan grabs another inmate, and they both escape while Jane lines him up and makes a hole, and Ethan Hunt and another inmate another inmate escape. And Ethan Hunt now finds out that they need him once again, because it's really bad outside since they need him. And now his next mission is he has to go in the center of Moscow, in Kremlin, in that center to get information on a known terrorist. I forgot the name. Kurt Hendricks, code name as Cobalt. He and his team Benji and Jane Carter were both assigned to Ethan Hunt, while IMF agent Hemingway was killed, and they need those informations on Cobalt immediately. So when Benji and Ethan Hunt go to Kremlin dressed as general and Russian soldiers, unaware they can't find those information. It turns out it was a trap. Cobalt was one step in front of them, and he set them up. He killed that guard. He set up IMF, and he bombed and destroyed Kremlin, most of the Kremlin, and kill at least 100 people. And he set them up, and he framed IMF agents as the terrorists. So now, since IMF agents are now declared as international terrorists, president shuts them down, and he says them and he calls them as and he says he says them now as he goes and he says now as goes protocol. So he shuts them down. President shuts them down and calls ghost protocol. That means these guys are ghosts, and because now they are being framed as international terrorists, while Ethan gets captured in hospital by Kremlin police officer in charge. Ethan escapes. By the way, that was a really dangerous stunt that Ethan grabs a belt and slides down the wire. He could get hurt, but that was a really dangerous stunt. And he jumps on a van and he lands barefoot without any t-shirt, and he makes a flip side. That was a really dangerous stunt, really amazing dangerous stunt. And And Ethan now, of course, Ethan, and of course, Ethan now, so now Ethan escapes and he gets picked by, he also steals clothes, but he gets picked by secretary played by Tom Wilkinson from Batman Begins. Carmine Falcone, he played Carmine Falcone. IMF secretary tells Ethan that they're now shut down. President shut down and declare ghost protocol. So they actually gonna imprison him, capture and imprison him unless he escapes with his technician William Brandt, played by Jeremy Renner. They go under fire. A secretary gets killed. They land in the water. But Brandt and Ethan Hunt, they escape, and they now go to the train, and they make it to the train, and of course Ethan now tells in which Carter and Benji are waiting at Ethan. They didn't know it's Ethan, but he tells them that everything that's actually in this train, they actually are shut down. President shut them down and declared ghost protocol, and now declared as a terrorist. Everything that's left from IMF is in this train, unless they have to get to Hendrix and get the codes back, and they have to stop them. And Ethan says, if you want to stop, I understand, but I'm gonna do what I have to do. So now only Jane Carter and Benji and Brent, they actually became the team. So now they go to Dubai. The next lead brings them, in which they actually following Cobalt to the Dubai. They go now to Dubai, and now they try to get the launch codes while they try to stop Cobalt. While they try to do mask, but it won't work. So they switch the roles in that tall building. But once again, Cobalt escapes, and he has nuclear launch. He has the codes for nuclear launch for the missiles, and he goes now to Mumbai, in which he with the launch codes he orders a missile and wants to do biological war. He wants to declare and cause a biological war, and of course Ethan and his team, they actually go to India to stop Hendrix, and while Hendrix already calls the submarine and orders a missile project. Now of course IMF agents have to do whatever it takes to stop them, and that's what Ethan Hunt does on the end. He also convinces the Kremlin officer that's actually after him that they're on the same side and that he's not a terrorist. He was set up, and of course now Ethan Hunt tries to clear agency's good name that they were framed. But I also know who William Brandt is. He's actually a field agent. He's not a technician. He's a field agent. And we also find out that that Julia Mead from the third movie was killed. That she was killed. And William Brandt was actually a bodyguard, but they captured in Croatia. They actually captured both of them, and they killed the girl. But it turns out, by the finale, Ethan tells him that it was such a disguise that he killed 6 Serbians in order to find more about Cobalt, Kurt Hendricks, while being in a prison. Julia is actually saved. Michelle Monaghan, she has a cameo role. This movie also, Luther Stickle from the first 3 movies is not in this movie. I don't know why Winger Hemes did not return, but he made only a cameo scene. Michelle Monaghan also, she did cameo scene in this film as Julia. So that's another thing we found out. But yeah, the movie is entertaining. By the way, don't worry, I'm not done with the review. But yeah, so the music score was once again by Michael Giacchino. He was music composer from the third movie, so that's cool. Now to this movie, like I said, this was Brad Bird's first direction. He was a competent director, just like J.J. Abrams. He did a good job, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this film. He was a good direction. Tom Cruise once again proves that he's actually that he's actually the man. He's actually the king. He's just like Jackie Chan. He does dangerous stunts himself. By the way, don't worry, I'll get to the stunts. But yeah, this movie budget for this movie cost $145 million. This is the most successful movie that made the most money of all Tom Cruise movies. It made $649 million. It almost reached $1 billion. This was the most successful movie. It even surpassed the third and the second movie. So that's cool. But this movie cost less than the third one. The third one was actually more expensive. The third one was $150 million. This cost $145 million. And I'm surprised they actually did the fourth movie. I thought they're gonna end it by the fourth movie, but Tom Cruise did another project, and that was the fifth movie, Rogue Nation, which is actually my favorite Mission Impossible film. This is the most highest grossing film in the series so far, $649 million. But Tom Cruise did all his own stunts. But okay, so the reason why I'm calling him a king, he is a king. Tom Cruise is a king. So I'm gonna keep holding this cover so that you can see why I'm talking about. Ethan Hunt, that's him. Scales he goes and scales the skyscraper. Which is actually Ethan Hunt scales the outside of the Burj Khalifa Tower himself. That's Khalifa Tower, the tallest building in the world in India. He did his own stunt. Ethan Hunt scales the outside of the Burj Khalifa Tower himself without the use of a stunt double. All that he saw was realistic. This movie felt realistic. Everything he saw in this movie was realistic. That is the most tallest building in the world. I'm not joking. The most tallest building. This scene kicks fucking ass. So yeah, the Burj Khalifa Tower is the tallest building in the world at 2,722 feet. Yeah, 722 feet. 2,722 feet. And or just say 839.8 meters, which is the most tallest high I have seen. And Tom Cruise dangled outside the tower at approximately 1,700 feet, 1,700 feet or more, 518 feet. He hanged himself. This was the most dangerous stunt Tom Cruise ever did. He climbed the tallest building. He could have died. It was the most dangerous stunt in the film I have ever seen. Tom Cruise is a madman. He's a living legend. Better than Jackie Chan, in my opinion. Jackie Chan will shit his pants by going the tallest building that Tom Cruise did. He climbed in that building in Dubai. He climbed the tallest building with that glow. He had two glows. He goes and climbs. I was like, shit, I was scared. I think that many would consider this one of the best movies because of that scene. That scene is my first. Is actually very dangerous stunt that Tom Cruise ever did. So dangerous stunt. I mean, Tom Cruise kicks ass. He goes with those glows, climbs the tallest building, at 1,000.700 feet, or just call it 580 meters, climbs those windows in the tallest skyscraper building, and one of those glows, stop working, and he throws the glows away, but glows sticks like a clue but falls down, and that is so dangerous stunt. I mean, he climbs with one hand, the other one he doesn't have that glow, and he climbs on it. He uses that laser gun, and cuts the he goes and cuts the glass. But he falls down, catches himself, climbs up, breaks that glass once again, and he also uses that rope, and the rope shows it's too short, so somehow he cuts himself, he flies again and gets captured by his team. But Tom Cruise, without any use of stunt double, any safety, he climbs the tallest building in the world, and Brad Bird actually wrote down this would allow director Brad Bird to have more capabilities with camera angles and not having to hide the fact that it's a stuntman doing the stunts. So Brad Bird just used camera angles, to show Tom Cruise what his character Ethan Hunt can do. But that was a really dangerous stunt. It was the really insanely dangerous stunt, and I have to give a praise by Tom Cruise's best performance by climbing with that hand, with that glow. You see this glow? He was climbing that wall, that glass wall, those windows with one glow. I don't know if that glow really exists or works, but with one glow, the other one he was hanging himself on the most tallest building in the world. Which that scene is fantastic, but really dangerous. And I have to say, Tom Cruise is a king. He's a man, but a king. And I respect the guy as hell. I don't care if he goes and yells on his fucking crew. He's a professional. He works his ass for the movies. He's 100% professional. Just like Patrick Swayze was a professional on Dirty Dancing, or a professional on Roadhouse, but he was a professional. Tom Cruise is one of the greatest actors of the world, a professional. He did 100% of himself. He was the best shape of his life in this movie, and he still is. And that scene is really dangerous, but spectacular, fantastic. It's the best scene ever. I mean, this scene is fantastic. Climbing the tower, the tallest building in the world. I mean, I would be scared. I would be shitless scared. But Tom Cruise did it. He did it. He did it, which was 2,722 feet, which is insane. That's 829.8 meters. I mean, I would shit myself in the pants if I would have to go climb on that building. I would shit myself. But Tom Cruise risked himself. He risked his health, his life to do that stunt, and he make it. He's a madman. But I have nothing but praise for the guy. I have nothing but respect for the guy. And I have to talk about the building, the most tallest building you see on the Blu-ray cover. The most tallest building goes and climbs, and that's actually ballsy to do. It's actually great. It's actually one of the greatest stuff Tom Cruise ever did. And yeah, all the stunts that he saw, all the stunts, Tom Cruise did all his stunts. I have seen non-stunt double, and that's what we want. And he deserves to get more Oscars. He deserves to be one of the greatest, one of the greatest actors. I would say surpasses Jackie Chan. Because Jackie Chan nowadays doesn't do much good movies either. But Tom Cruise still works his ass. You know, fuck his shitty screw because they quit. Fuck them. Fuck all of them. Tom Cruise is the king. He's the man. He's the king. Yeah, I said it. I called him a king because he is. You know, he's a king. And this is an action film that they should learn from these movies. You know, John Wick. And fuck if it's PG-13, you know. Fuck if this movie is PG-13. In the other scene, after Ethan Hunt successful jumped, you know, from the building, he jumped, just like in the third movie. I don't know which scene is more ballsy, this scene or the third movie. Probably still consider third one about this movie, but this is really ballsy. And we actually have a sandstorm in Dubai, and Tom Cruise runs through the sandstorm, sandstorm, and uses the car, tries to capture that man that's actually accomplice to Cobalt, but turns out it's Cobalt himself. And Tom Cruise goes and runs. He gets hit by a car. And that was really a dangerous stunt. It was the most dangerous stunt I have ever seen in a movie. That is the most dangerous stunt I have ever seen in a movie. And that's my favorite scene. The Tom Cruise goes and climbs the tallest building in the world, which is really stupid and dumb and really dangerous, but it worked. And I have nothing but praise for Tom Cruise, you know. So I support Tom Cruise and his decision, and I'm always gonna support the guy. I'm a fan of Tom Cruise. So fuck those idiots, those bunch of assholes, not obey him. He was paying them. He was responsible for everyone, and they did not obey him. What kind of employees are there? Why the fuck would even decide to work with them? Then if they decide not to obey and follow the rules, you know. We work by the rules. That's how it is. John Wick, they said rules. Yeah, rules. Stupid morons. Another scene that was very dangerous was in Mumbai in India, in which Ethan Hunt and Hendrix Cobalt, they are fighting. They actually in the you see all those cars, and they're actually fighting in the elevator, and then they go to these cars. They actually go and fight each other, and Tom Cruise really lands on the cars. And I think they were real cars. They weren't just made cars. They were real cars. And I think that, in my opinion, Tom Cruise really did hurt himself. And he actually went and used a car, and he flies down there 100 feet, 100 meters. He crashes the car, which was very dangerous. I haven't seen a stunt double. I think Tom Cruise did himself. He crashes with the car 100 meters below on the floor, and crashes the car. Then uses that briefcase from Hendrix, who killed himself, and grabs those launch keys and says, "Mission accomplished." And that's how we do a movie. John Woo should have learned by this movie. You know, John Woo, fuck him and fuck his stupid lame vision and fucking his stupid sequel. He should learn by this movie, ballsy movie. Mission accomplished. And that's how we do a Mission Impossible movie. That's how we do Mission Impossible movie. And yeah, and of course, because the accomplice from Cobalt, you know, he shuts down the electricity. Brent turns the the electricity, and they abort the missile. They actually abort the missile. But I love that Tom Cruise said, "Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished." That's how you do a movie. But that scene, is the most ballest, the most dangerous scene I have actually seen that Tom Cruise ever did. For 2011, they should learn from this action movie. Action movies now, they should learn from this movie. Fuck stunt doubles. Tom Cruise is the legend, the living legend. But those two scenes with the car, crashing a car over 100 meters, probably 200 feet below, is suicide, and climbing the most tallest building at 1,722 feet is insane. It's stupid, it's dangerous, insane. But Tom Cruise is a badass. He's a king of the stunt. He's a king of the king. He's best of the best. He's the greatest actor ever. He's a living legend. And fuck those assholes from last year that they quit by him. I will never quit. I admire Tom Cruise. I'm not the only one that admires Tom Cruise. Fuck Tandy Newton. Yeah, she was treated. Fuck her. Tom Cruise is the legend, the living legend. I have more to say about this film, beside the stunts and best performance by Tom Cruise. So Jeremy Renner, he was in Thor after he did this movie. I don't know, maybe it was Thor released first, but he played Hawkeye, agent. I forgot. Clint Barton. He played Clint Barton, Hawkeye, but he also later did The Bourne Legacy. But Jeremy Renner said it was actually his dream come true working with Tom Cruise. He admired Tom Cruise. It was actually his dream come true working with Tom Cruise. Jeremy Renner stated working with Tom Cruise was a dream come true. He always idolized him as an actor. Renner did mention Cruise is a great actor and a nicer guy. And here you go. Also, now the cast. Beside Jeremy Renner, Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg returns, reprises his role as Benji Dan. He wasn't that much main star in the third movie, but yeah, he wasn't that much main star in the movie. But he returns. Michael Enquist as Kurt Hendricks, Koba did great. He was a good villain. Michelle Monaghan and Winner Hames, they both return. They both reprise the roles, but they only have cameo scene, so they only return on the finale. Because Luther Stickle is explained that he was in San Francisco. And of course Julia is not dead. She has a cameo scene. So Ethan Hunt had to protect her, otherwise she would be really dead because his work is dangerous. Also Paula Patton, she did Paula Patton, that's her. Paula Patton plays Jane Carter. She's okay. I'm not that big fan of the actress. I don't really care what she does nowadays, but wasn't fan of her. I wish that Maggie Q would return. I wish that Maggie Q would have a relationship with Ethan Hunt. I really wish that, but that didn't happen in the third movie. Kristen Kreuk and another actress, Kristen Kreuk from Smallville. She was considered for the role of Jane Carter, but later Paula Patton won the role. Another actress I wrote down, she was Lauren German, were considered to play Jane Carter, but Paula Patton got the role, but she's okay. I'm not a big fan of her, but she's okay. Michael Enquist, rest in peace, from John Wick, is in this movie. I think I mentioned it a few times now. He was good villain as Kurt Henry's Cobalt. Rest in peace, Michael Enquist. He was in that Svidian trilogy, Millennium trilogy. The girl that played with the I think was the girl with the dragon tattoo was titled. There was a remake. I hated that movie with Daniel Craig. I hated that remake. But with Michael Enquist, the original film, I really enjoy, because Michael Enquist was the best. Rest in peace, Michael Enquist. Another actor I like died and passed away, which is really, really sad and a tragedy. He had to pass away. Anil Kapoor as Brijanath, Indian media tycoon, is in this movie. He's that Indian that Paula Patton goes and breaks his arm in order to get the codes for nuclear launcher. She goes and breaks his arm and grabs him for the neck. The actor, that actor, he actually was in 24, the TV show. He was in season 8. He gets killed. He's the same actor from 24, season 8. Léa Seydoux, she plays Sabine Murau. By the way, Léa Seydoux, I hated Spectre. This movie is better than fucking Spectre. Fuck Spectre. I rented that piece of shit movie. Some asshole gave me a dislike and was a coward and a chicken shit enough by giving me dislike and not tell me why. Because I rented the movie, but he probably liked the garbage. That movie is trash. But Léa Seydoux, if you remember, actually went and I ripped off her poster because I hated her so much. But Léa Seydoux, she played she played Sabine Murau, but she wasn't annoying. I hated her in Spectre, but she wasn't annoying in this movie. She was better than Madeline Swan. You know, she was Sabine Murau. She killed Agent Hemingway in the open scene. And in that building, Jane Carter and Sabine went to the fight, and you see that that Paula Patton uses that karate kick and kicks the actress, pushes her out of the window. But if you can see closely, or if you click a pause, you can see that's not the actress Léa Seydoux. That's a stunt woman, a stunt double. But that was dangerous, that she kicks her out of the window and she flies out of the window. But it was such a stunt woman, because that was very, very dangerous. It was dangerous, and I don't think that actress was, actually shit herself, because it was really dangerous. But Paula kicks her in the stomach and she flies out of the window. Good scene. Too bad it's not it wasn't the actress, because I hate if it would be an actress. If it would be Léa, she at least wouldn't be then in Spectre. I really wish she would be the actress, so I wouldn't watch her lame, shitty performance in Spectre. I really wish that. Yeah. So I also checked out why the actress Maggie Q from Les Femmes Nikita from Live Free or Die Hard could not return in the movie, and I wrote down because I wish she would be returned as IMF agent. Zhen Lei. I wish that she will return as IMF agent Zhen Li, but Maggie Q couldn't return. She would return, but she couldn't because what happened? So she couldn't return because she was on the show and she was contracted. They asked her if she would return, but she couldn't. She was contracted. Her contract for the show, she was doing that time Le Femme Nikita, and she was filming another show. She couldn't. She was contracted, prevented to return as her character Zen Lei. She really wanted to return, but she couldn't. She was contracted. They asked her for this movie Ghost Protocol. She couldn't. They asked her for Rogue Nation, and she couldn't. She was contracted. She couldn't return because she was contracted. She stated that Tom Cruise is best co-star ever. She admires and she loved working with him. She said that she would love to work with him in the future. They asked her twice to return with her character Zen Lei, I'm Agent Zen Lei, but she couldn't. And I really wish Maggie Q would return because I loved her in Le Femme Nikita. I loved her as a bad guy, as a villainess in Live Free or Die Hard. Maylin, she was great. Man, she's sexy. I wish that Maggie Q would return this movie. And I really want, because in trivia, Amedee's not writing why she did not return, so I researched it on Yahoo. And when they asked her, she said that that the producers asked her twice if she will return with her character for Mission Impossible, for Ghost Protocol, and the fifth one, but she couldn't. She was contracted by making shows. She was on the show and she couldn't. That prevent her to be in Mission Impossible. I wish that she would be, that at least she could return in Mission Impossible 7 or 8, but sadly that will never happen. We probably will never see the character Zen Lei ever again. Yes, I enjoy her character Zen Lei. We're never gonna see her character again. That's one of the reasons this is Mission Impossible 3 is my second favorite movie. So that will never happen again. Already mentioned, Tom Cruise did the majority of his own stunts, including the skyscraper sequence to show the audience it was actually him. So like I said, this allowed the director, not to use any angles, or with the camera, and not having to hide the fact that it's a stuntman doing the stunts. We see Tom Cruise, and that's the reason why I love this film, because of this scene in Dubai. This scene, which I wrote down, the Burj Khalifa Tower, the tallest building in the world, 2,722 feet, or call it 829.8 meters, which is insane. That's insane. That was dangerous, stupid, but insane stunt. But Tom Cruise did. He's deserved all the credits. This movie, if Tom Cruise won't be this movie, I think that this movie will suck. Tom Cruise is the king of the king. He's the king. By the way, this is actually his team. That's Jane Carter. That's Benji Dan. That's Ethan Hunt, and that's William Brent. And that's the explosion, Ethan Hunt. But that's William Brent, Ethan Hunt, Benji Dan, and Jane Carter. So that's actually his team, and that's the Khalifa Tower in India, or just call it Dubai. But that's really badass scene, this Blu-ray also has a feature film plus special features. Mission Accepted on set action with Tom Cruise, J.J. Abrams, and director Brad Bird. See the amazing stunt work on the world's tallest building in Dubai and more. Impossible missions, the stunt room brought to life, and the secret behind the gadgets. The latest scenes and alternate ending. Actually, alternate opening, not ending. Alternate opening. But Brad Bird did a great job directing this film. Josh Applebaum and Andre Nemetz did great direction in this film. But the stunt work was great. Amazing stunt work. Great work. No CGI. It was practically done. And this movie felt more realistic than the previous installment in Mission Impossible. I think John Woo should have learned from this movie, because the next all movies except two are great. All of them are great, and whoever rents this movie is a dumb ass. He's a dumb ass. That person, whoever rented this movie, is a dumb ass. Because this movie is good. It's great. It's good. It's not like the third one, but still good movie. I really enjoy it. This will actually be my last favorite Mission Impossible movie. Ghost Protocol, fantastic movie. Tom Cruise with a glow, the climbing the tower. That was amazing stunt work, but really dangerous and kind of stupid, because he could have been killed, but he did it. He's a king of the kings. He's the best of the best. He's great of the greatest. He's one of the greatest actors. Just like Keanu Reeves, he did all his own stunts. He's a badass. Tom Cruise is a fucking badass. He's a king of the king, the best of the best. He's the best of the best of the best of the best. So that's one of the reasons why this movie is so great. It's so good. It's so great. Yeah, Paul Hirsch, editor and visual effects supervisor John Knoll from the first movie did return, so that's cool. They both returned from the first movie. Yeah, the cast did a good job. Jeremy Renner, it was actually enjoyable watching him in Rogue Nation. Josh Holloway from The Lost is in this movie, so that's awesome. Lea Seydoux, I wish that she will be the one that Paula Patton kicks her and flies out of the window. At least we won't have her in Spectre. I really wish that. But yeah, they probably catch the stunt woman probably with a net, or probably she was on a line. They use a CGI, But yeah, the action sequences, in my opinion, are amazing. But this is truly amazing scene. Truly awesome, amazing, spectacular scene that Tom Cruise ever did. I have to praise. I can't give more praise enough for this movie by this stunt. Tom Cruise, best performance. In my opinion, best performance. That's one of the reasons I do have this movie in Blu-ray collection. I have all of them except the last one. But Ghost Protocol, yeah, but this is the back. But Ghost Protocol, this movie, cost me the most money than actually all Mission Impossible together. The first three, one movie, the trilogy, one piece cost me only 12 bucks, 12 euros. But Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, I used to have the DVD. I paid 12 bucks, 12 euros for the DVD. I paid 30 euros for this Blu-ray. This was the most expensive movie I actually buy in all 5 Mission Impossible films. It was the most expensive. I spent 50 bucks on the DVD and Blu-ray. I don't have the DVD anymore. I throw it away. When Tom Cruise is wearing the hood, the poster that you see Paula Patton with sunglasses, and Tom Cruise is wearing a hood. He wears twice the hood in this movie, so that's on the poster. Paula Patton wears sunglasses, gargoyle sunglasses, and she smiles in Dubai. So that's she's also with that. I think she's also on a poster with that. She wears sunglasses. All of them wear sunglasses, but she wears gargoyle sunglasses. But yeah, this movie cost me the most money. The fifth one did not cost me that much. The fifth movie did not cost me that much, but I replaced it again, but didn't cost me that much. This was the most expensive film that I actually buy the franchise. It was, I'm still amazing. there was also an explosion, but I think it was partially CGI in it. But the stunts, the amazing stunts, you know, the amazing stunts, the stunt work and the stunts are amazing. They're awesome. They are amazing. They're spectacular. You know, the stunt work on this film is actually fantastic, amazing. I can't give the praise more enough for this film. The cast did work, the story worked, the director Brad Bird did a great job directing this film. J.J. Abrams and Tom Cruise produced this film, so that was spectacular. The cast worked fine. Lea Seydoux wasn't annoying, unlike she was in Spectre. She was overhyped in Spectre. In this movie, she was normal. She was likable, even though she wasn't that much in the film. I still enjoy her performance. I think that everyone did well. This movie was fantastic. But once again, I'll show you the Blu-ray. Anyway, that's my movie review on the fourth installment in Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is the fourth installment. I would say entertaining, fast-paced, and a good movie. It's 2 hours, 12 minutes, kind of way too long, but still go fast-paced around with amazing stunts, amazing stunt work. I really enjoy this film. Tom Cruise is still king of the kings, the best of the best ever. Yeah, anyway, that's my movie review on Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol for 2011. I hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Sorry it's that long review. It's my in-depth review on Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. But anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for the next sequel, which is going to be Mission Impossible 5 Rogue Nation, my favorite Mission Impossible film. So stay tuned for tomorrow to see on my channel the next review. Anyway, I'm out. Peace. Take care and see ya.